I'm really excited about revisiting the pantry, and this pantry I hope will give a lot of you some ideas about how to set it up and what things that you can actually place in your pantry. Remember, your pantry, no matter where you live, you can have a pantry. If you're in an apartment, you can make your closet a pantry. You can make the spare bedroom a pantry. Just make sure you keep all your items in a place where it's dark and cool. It's really important. But I wanted to show you that starting with your fresh produce, you may have privy to growing your own foods and having bins for your fresh produce like your potatoes, your tomatoes, if you've got apple trees, you've got kiwi. These bins are really great. Just for short-term storage. So they're easy access. You can separate all your fruits and your vegetables, and you can keep them in a cool place. Uh, and I love what they have done here. Even when you buy stuff from the store, it's really good that you store them in your pantry, including your avocados and your bananas and your pineapples. And then you can really stack up on stuff too. And keeping it in a cool and dark area really slows the ripening process also. The other thing I love about this pantry is when you have your shelves, you're going to have short-term items that you're going to use, like maybe your legumes, your beans, your chickpeas, your lentils, stuff that you really need to get at. Put them in bins. They don't need to be in airtight containers at all. So just buy some bins and get a scoop, and then you can readily access those. Even your rice. Now, your rice, you have to be careful because brown rice will go rancid after a while because of the oils. But just remember, we're using short-term stuff within 6 months. The other thing that you also have to remember is the storage of your oils. What I strongly suggest for people when it comes to their oils, stick with the unsaturated oils. Those are mono and polyunsaturated. Those are the ones that are liquid at room temperature. Those are the really healthy oils like the olive oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. Your saturated oils like your palm and coconut and lard and butter, they don't go rancid and they can store for a very long time, but they're really not that healthy for you. I remember on the homestead, so we used to buy coconut oil by the gallons on the homestead, and I strongly encourage people to stay away from the coconut oil, the lard, the butter. Although they have a very long shelf life, they are saturated fats, and they really increase your risk for heart disease and atherosclerosis and strokes and even cancer. So those you really want to use sparingly. Okay. The other thing about this wonderful pantry is the wonderful thing about this pantry too is you can see they also are buying things in bulk. And this is the accessible pantry that they use, like I said, for short term. But they buy a lot of their herbs in bulk. They have their cornstarches in bulk, their baking sodas in bulk. They've got their rice in bulk. So they really have it laid out. They have a great layout. You can see dates and lentils and their peanuts and their black beans and their rice. They have over here condiments. They got their sunflower seeds, the tapioca flour. They've got their beef seasoning, vegan beef seasoning, country style seasoning. And again, I really encourage people who are trying to build a pantry, if you can buy non-GMO and organic, really, really important. So let's go into the other pantry real quick and we'll show you what we have, and hopefully you'll get some more ideas. Now, this is their other pantry. They have actually two, but I envision this being in one location in your house. But you know what? Sometimes you might not have a lot of room, so you may have to end up storing some things in a closet, maybe some things in another area of the house. But don't get so wrapped up in everything has to be in one area. Be creative with your pantry. But I really like this pantry because it is a average person's pantry. If you don't have a homestead, if you don't have chickens, if you don't have a garden, if you don't, you're not out there tilling the fields and got cows and whatever, fruit trees. This really is a great working pantry that's realistic because if you see all the items here, they are buying canned goods, big cans of things, smaller cans of things. I highly encourage you to buy things on sale. And because, not all people can, right? So I used to go to Aldi's and I would buy cases of canned peas and cases. And I would buy cases of kidney beans. And, there's nothing wrong with that. For the average person who's on a budget, Aldi's is a great place. The other thing is you'll see they stock up on little bags of like the paprika. They've got different types of flour. If you're not grinding your own, it is perfectly okay to store some of this short term in their plastic bags like this. Of course, if you're doing long term, it's always better to store those things in a food grade container, and if you can do Mylar bags. But this really is a practical pantry. And I always encourage if you can buy things in big bulk, like 50-pound bags and 25-pound bags, that's where you're going to save your most money. And over here, you see they stock up on a lot of the soy milk and almond milk. This is good. This is fine that you can do that, but just know that there is a really simple way to make all your nut milks, and you can save a hoard of money. You can buy walnuts in bulk. It does cost some money, but all you got to do is have water and mix it, and you can make yourself some almond or walnut milk. But there's nothing wrong with going to, say, Walmart and buying these brands, and they have a really long shelf life. And it is a great way to get, like a fortified milk without having to have a cow. Okay, and as I pan through the rest of the pantry, you can see they just have a little bit of everything. And that's kind of what a pantry should be. You should have a lot of different things on hand. They have couscous, onion powder. I mean, obviously this is for the students who they're feeding. But, when you set up your pantry, buy things that you are going to use. Buy things that you eat in your daily life. Buy the spices that you're going to use. Buy the black beans if you don't can them. Buy the organic tortilla chips. Buy the extra baking soda. Have on hand extra napkins, extra paper towel. If you eat a lot of red rice, buy that. If you eat a lot of fruit, get the canned fruits, pickles, lemon juice. Just, everybody's pantry is going to be different. And I know when you go on YouTube, they have these beautiful pantries where people can their own foods, and that's wonderful. But the average person sometimes doesn't have the ability or the know-how. And canning is easy, but you know what? There's some people out there that it's just not an option. But you know what? Going to Aldi's or Costco is. But I strongly encourage you to buy what your family is going to eat. Buy on sale, buy non-GMO if you can, buy organic if you can, and then make sure you try to stock up on some long-term things. You're always going to save a lot of money if you buy your oats in bulk. You're always going to save a lot of money if you buy your beans in bulk, okay? So just remember that. But there you go. This is a beautiful pantry, and you can see there's just so many different things, and I wanted to showcase this to really encourage people that you can't get it wrong. You can't get it wrong. Just start stacking up on some food, because when something does happen, you don't want an empty pantry. There's no way that the store is always going to be filled with food. And you know that when a hurricane comes, what happens, right? All right, God bless you, friends.